Sorry about that, guys. But I'm right back. Welcome back to Sherlock Holmes. We're going to the gallery. It is right across from this turquoise lane, across from Cordona Abbey. What is my John's diary? Memories. The wealthy like me. Okay. Alright, so that's the Abbey. Here we go. No? Eastern Grand Surrey. Turquoise Lane. Turquoise Lane. Turquoise Lane. What? Cordona Abbey. Turquoise. Hey, what's the case? It's Sacrificial Lamb. I haven't even really started the the I haven't even started the mystery and or the case, and I already have to use a guide because it's just I can't see the street. It's a big mansion across the stairs. There are so many stairs. That's like the vaguest thing ever. Assuming these are the stairs, then it'd be. Find stairs, go across it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now, wouldn't you agree? I've muted my. It's that one? Oh, here, it says across the stairs. Here we go. Manchios Mansion.
Welcome, sir. I do hope you enjoy yourself.
Oh, okay, this is all weird. Vogel invited me. This better be good. That's a stripper.
Enjoy the evening, sir. there is still plenty of time before the grand finale.
All right.
Vogel must be here somewhere. Don't look! Do you look? What the fuck is going on? What even is this? Oh, Vogel, I'm scared.
What if I write an article about these people here? Can you help me gather information about Cordona's elite?
I can try. Give me a second here. Wait 1 second. Alright. Back to it. Now what?
I guarantee we'll have a good time.
You have such pretty
Find an
hands.
interesting scoop.
What can you do with them?
Do you know what was here before Manchio's family bought it?
Oculus Architect. And such mysterious appearance. Fraud, magister. Okay. Mysterious abilities. Occult.
Do you know what was here?
Nope. Nope. Yes. Nope. Nope. Yes. Nope. Yes.
That's what I like about this party. Bring me more dirt, Sherry. One more piece, and I can expose these base hedonists.
Alright, you weirdo. Your diary.
Curtains do not guarantee privacy.
And you still
coming,
need
Sherry.
a crack, despite
Just
being ethereal.
Give me another second. I'm coming, Sherry. Just give me another second.
I like how he points out that despite being a theory. Well, he cannot tell what's beyond there because I cannot see it. He can only see what I see.
Excuse me, just one question.
Sorry, but I can't be of help with that, sir.
Here. I swear to God, I just heard what someone say here. Huh? What do I look into?
Sherlock! Friend! I wasn't sure you'd come.
The fuck's going on here, Vogel? What'd you bring me into?
Werner, I see you are not yourself.
The more time you spend here in Cordona, the more I feel it my duty to bring you into our world and show you all we have to offer.
And what is on offer today?
Pleasure, indulgence, relief, and relaxation. You've earned some time for yourself, have you not?
Those who know me would say I'm incapable of it.
Nonsense. I refuse to believe there is anyone permitted to know Sherlock Holmes.
You may be right.
Then free yourself from inhibition and expectation. The night is young, and so are the guests. You should try to enjoy both. It's not healthy for handsome men to spend every night alone, and certainly not in a house filled with such melancholic memories.
I must admit, my travels have proven more taxing than expected. I'm less confident in my life and myself. Time of relaxation seems a distant dream.
So can I tempt you with a physical aid to your moral consolations? There's wine, of course. Something to smoke? Or perhaps an artificial paradise? Yes, something more spiritual. A potentiator to sharpen the mind. A 7% solution of, well, that'd be telling, but you must try it.
That would be reckless.
My mind is my most valuable asset, and a finely tuned instrument I will not risk impeding its function. My ultimate duty is to provide the world with truth, and I do that perfectly well as is.
Duty? You've never cared about that before.
Of course I do. Exposing a lie, revealing a fact, that is a moral
That's not what
responsibility.
we did last time.
That's not morality. Morals are what happens afterwards when truth collides with consequence.
That's
Do
true.
you ever follow up on cases you solved? Do you ever see what happened next? Visit the victims? Ensure justice is served in the courts? And how do you choose where to direct your attention? Are there not deserving causes to which your brilliance could be applied but isn't?
You ascribe me more power than I possess. I have a narrow skill set and work within that mandate. What occurs afterward is irrelevant.
With every action or inaction, you place a finger on the scales of morality. Many in the city would see you as abdicating a responsibility.
I haven't.
Not me, of course. Morality is subjective, just like truth. There is little to be gained from indulging in it, and far better things to indulge in. Now I must insist on easing any burdens I've placed upon your shoulders. Show yourself a kindness, and try this rather delectable concoction.
Rather take it for study.
If this solution truly does assist with thinking, then well, perhaps it would be puerile to overlook an opportunity to study it. I'll take it with me.
Yes, Sherlock. Very good. And now, our evening
I'm not
begins
gonna
in
take
earnest.
it.
I just remembered. I'm sorry, Sherlock. My mind's delightfully impaired. Please take this key. It opens the altar room, past the library.
Pardon? Altar room? What now, Werner?
Go quickly and find our Fabio. Only you can make him talk. I'll join you in a minute.
Alright. I still need depth. The depth.
Look, I'm an outlaw.
Okay, Mr. Funny Man.
My goodness, Sherlock. They made a blood fountain.
It's wine.
No, John, it's definitely not blood, just wine. Gahor, is it a guess?
Get more dirt somewhere else. Key to the altar room. And someone's dead, of course. Why am I not surprised? Wait, that guy looks familiar almost.
My God. Was he here this whole time?
Okay. I can't change clothes here. Well, I would like to. I don't want to do investigating him. It's Fabio. I don't know who Fabio is. Butterfly. Okay.
This crude tattoo partially covers a slave branding.
Now that. How's that? It's a knife.
This golden handle has a bloodstain on it.
The handle itself has a
The
bloodstain.
dagger is heavy and sharp, but lacks balance. This worm-like sigil has been drawn with his own blood. The wound is deep. A precise strike reached the heart.
She was unconscious then. Or else he wouldn't fight. No
A
struggle.
blunt-force trauma may have suffered an internal hemorrhage.
He was knocked out.
The victim has clenched the fabric so firmly in his fist that it's nigh impossible to remove it. He died right here.
Mind Palace. Sacrificial lamb.
Werner, care to explain what is going on here?
On nights like these, it's not unusual for some attendees to get a little exuberant. It's part of the appeal. Unfortunately, it appears things have gotten out of hand. Yes, some are more prone to bend the rules of morality.
That's murder. I doubt there's anything left to bend. Why did you not tell me immediately? We were chatting about trivial matters for some time.
If I'm completely honest, Sherlock, I've consumed a rather potent cocktail of substances. My attention slips and drifts. But I'm glad I thought to call for you.
You sent me a disguise.
Oh dear, did I? Well, since I found the body, Mr. Manchios has agreed that you can investigate the matter. I promise
I
my
doubt
mind will
that,
behave itself going
but
forward.
whatever. I'll take
All
your word.
right. Pull yourself together, Werner.
About nights like these.
What is it about these nights that you are so eager to share with me?
Well, they're not always in the evenings, but they are in the shadows. People gather to test their boundaries in a safe and consensual atmosphere, often with more stains than your typical crime scene. But that is the point. Who are we to judge?
I suppose that's fair. What about today, then? Was anything different?
Well, I was invited as a special guest. It was supposed to be a time of both divine and carnal pleasures. A scratch for every unconventional itch.
I imagine you're reeling from your shattered expectations.
On the contrary, there is still spectacle, stimulation, and release, merely in a different form. I like to let life entertain me.
Or death. Mr. Manchios is the owner of the manor, yes?
And the host of Cordonus' most memorable parties. He promises even the ugliest guest a partner for the night. And for the ones with more unconventional tastes...
Whoa, hey, whoa,
Mr.
what does that
Manchios
mean? Hey,
provides
whoa,
other
whoa, now.
services.
What a caring person.
You cannot begin to imagine.
I'll be right back. I gotta go get something. Alright, back to the real things at hand. The police know
The
nothing.
police remain unaware of this tragic event?
Some of them may be hiding behind their masks. They conceal many things. But we didn't want the authorities to create
I
more
see.
problems. After a few cocktails, their incompetence will have soared to new heights.
How do you know I even want the case?
I promised you relaxation. If there's one thing I know about you, Sherlock, it's that nothing soothes you more than a good mystery.
You're right, you're right. Let's not even try to lie, he's right.
If there's one thing I...
Let's find the body.
How did you discover the body? In between guzzles of alcohol?
I was set to perform in a fecundity rite with Fabio and came to inquire further. It was a staged ritual where he was to play the principle of life.
And the rehearsal was unsuccessful?
Huh, who knows? I found him alone on the altar, his blood dripping to the floor.
And then?
Then I called Mr. Manchios. He was panicking, so I told him about you. We left the room and locked the door. Then we were...
Filling time?
Waiting for you was stressful. We indulged in some simple comforts. Overindulged, perhaps.
Did you know? He did, right? It was...
Were you well acquainted with Fabio, the victim?
Everyone knew Fabio, or wanted to. His beauty was
So it could
the
be
talk of
murder,
the
huh?
island. Too handsome to go unnoticed. Was magnetic. Fat wallets fought for the privilege of having him. He offered the pleasures of performance, and more.
And
What about
more.
the fertility ritual? There was something about Fabio being a principle of life.
Fabio was supposed to portray the beauty of life's origin. Flowers, oil... Not this travesty that seems straight out the Inquisition.
So this ritual is not the fertility rite. What was it meant to look like?
It begins with a woman lying naked in a flower bed on the altar. She represents Gaia, the earth. As I cover her in oils, we chant for the principle. As our calls reach a climax, Fabio enters and copulates with her. After he finishes, I stab her with a dagger. That part's just pretend, of course.
But the intercourse is not?
I did not expect you to be such a prude. Are you a virgin?
Yeah, I
It is
mean,
nothing to be ashamed of, but
Wait,
it
I
would
have to look this
explain
up.
the colour of your cheeks. The fertility rite marks the start of our festivities. The principle of life is beautiful, intimate, essential. It must not be stopped.
Yet it appears that someone did stop it. What about the naked woman? Can you tell me anything about her?
Oh yes, Matista. She's one of Fabio's compatriots and a performer too. I haven't seen her today, actually.
time to look it up. Is Sherlock Holmes a virgin? Sir Conan Dials. Who's that? Sir Conan Dial. He created. Okay. So Sherlock Holmes. So Conan Dial. Conan Dial's Sherlock is asexual. Apparently, it seems as it. It appears he is asexual. So Sir Conan Dial's Sherlock is a virgin. Guess what? I'm a virgin. I'm on the right track, people. On the patch, on the track to Sherlock Holmes. I am going to cry. Let's keep going, anyways.
When you discovered the body, was the door open?
No, it was locked. Oh, that reminds me. It's a minor detail, but the first time I came to speak to Fabio, I left without entering, having been unable to open the door.
You didn't have the key?
No, I had it. Don't look at me like that. I was mostly sober. I suspect there was a key in the other side of the door, blocking the lock.
That detail may very well be major, Werner. Well done. So you returned later only to find the lock was not blocked?
Correct. After an hour had passed, I tried again and was able to unlock the door. That's when I discovered poor, handsome Fabio.
Dude, you end up around a lot of death. Like, most of these things that I've been on is because of you and someone dying.
The herbs here are Salvia divinorum. They have a slight hallucinogenic effect to emphasize the ceremony.
That's the holder.
This elaborate box must be for the ritual dagger. This oil has a slight aroma of flowers and olive. The ointment smells mouse-like. I presume it is an aphrodisiac prepared from a Spanish fly. This one looks like a twisted symbol of Venus, drawn in a hurry. The sign reminds me of the astrological symbol for Mars.
What's my mind, Valis? Nope. Oh, that's you, John. It scared me, John.
Similar to the
Bloods.
guests' robes, apart from the bloodstains.
Something major happened here.
Props, decorations, and tools for a more detailed set. Identical to the robes the guests are wearing. The pitcher is empty, but with puddles around it.
Blood?
Blood clots are adhered to the sides of the drain.
The murderer... Someone murdered him. They came in here, put away the robe, and then got a new one. So they're out there. And try to wash themselves.
How can anyone accept such behavior?
This is a different ritual.
That's our ritual.
A useful tool for a disguise arsenal.
We should yoink it.
Handcrafted and luxurious cufflinks. There's also a note. For my Fabio, Manchos. Handcrafted and...
What are cufflinks? Cufflinks. What are cufflinks? I see. They go on the hands, the wrists, more or less, on the shirt wrists.
Would you recognize me in one of these? I suppose not.
If you changed what you were wearing, then maybe. But then again, you're a person.
The key is similar to the one that Vogel gave me.
It's detectable a mile
The
away.
capital F on the key fob might refer to Fabio.
Ugh. Nope. We've investigated all there is to investigate here. Cigars.
Enough cigars to burn down the entire mansion.
Just to try a cigar one day, just for the shits and gigs. No, I'm joking, that might be dumb. I should keep my lungs clean.
Why don't people tidy up after themselves?
Good question. There's blood in it.
Blood? A sturdy bottle met a not-so-sturdy human. It didn't break only because it was unopened.
This is about it hit Fabio. It started here.
An open wound spoiled the carpet.
I know what happened. Fabio was knocked unconscious here, moved over there, and then murdered. Is there blood there? There's even a bloody handprint.
What about a quick pillow fight?
I want a pillow fight so bad.
You've got a lot to do, Sherlock.
Wait, am I not? What am I missing? Alright, John's challenge. Why don't we do that? John.
You should sit next to me and wait to be served.
Nancho's had to enforce the masks after the scandal.
I'm a disclosure scandal. No. Ooh.
I'll pin them down with this scoop. Thank you, Sherlock.
Good. Smoking lounge. Did you hear the guy that said, yeah, yeah? Yeah, here's the video, the blood.
A person leaned against the doorframe. They left a smudged trail of blood.
Any blood traces?
The wounded person was here for some time. A bloody handprint on an armchair. There appeared to be no further traces leading to the altar.
So, Sherry, do you have any ideas about the case?
More or less.
Perhaps. I think I can deduce what happened here.
I really hope to make sure. Is there going to be Sherlock Holmes Chapter 2? Okay. First, someone got hit with a bottle. That's its. Nope, that's not what happened. There we go. That has to. Wait, what am I missing? Over here. This makes most sense to me.
The bottle was used as a weapon during a
I
scuffle in
got
the
it!
smoking lounge.
First try, baby.
Then, to ensure no one would interrupt, the murderer locked the door. The unconscious body of the victim was moved to the altar room. Once the body was on the altar, the murderer thrust the dagger into the victim's heart. Symbols were drawn with the blood. The wardrobe was used to hide the bloodied robe from anyone's eyes. The killer washed himself and took a clean robe from the hanger before leaving.
Are you all right? You're on the floor, not moving.
I think I know what happened here.
Okay, the ritual was a cover in my opinion. This. It was not Fabio's key that was... Yeah, the murder was in possession, but it was not Fabio's key. I got some evidence. Talking.
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Fabio was stabbed.
I see nothing gets past you, Werner.
Duh,
Yes,
no.
he was
The doy.
stabbed, but only after being knocked out in the next room and placed here. I do not yet know why.
So, who's responsible?
Well, it was one person working alone, and the murderer has now donned a robe. He or
I'll
she
be right back.
could be hiding in plain sight. We have lost time, Werner, but your discretion may prove to be a benediction after all.
You know what I like? I like dihydrogen monoxide. Dihydrogen monoxide. Provide evidence. Okay, yeah, we got a ton of evidence, my dude.
The murderer had to have access to this room. After the crime, he used his own key to lock the door. So, who had the key to the altar room?
I'm not sure. As a special guest, I was provided one by Mr. Manchios. He should be able to tell you of any others.
Alright.
Where can I find him?
Most likely in the main hall, entertaining his guests. He has a mask with golden stars. You can't miss him. But please be discreet. We don't want to risk disturbing the revelry.
Alright, more questions. I have more
I
questions.
know you can untangle this mess.
I have more questions?
I know you can untangle this mess.
I have no more. Nervous man with the golden mask.
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
Excuse me? What? I'm not sure I know.
Yeah, yeah. Someone was having sex in there.
Do you know anything?
Alright, who the hell?
But I've never heard of this.
I'm just too stupid. Alright. Is this guy?
Kurt Manchios, I presume. I'm Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, you must be the one Werner told me about. What a sweet voice you have. It must belong to a handsome young man. Can I call you Sherlock?
As you wish, Mr. Manchios. Mr. Vogel asked me to help you. The body in the altar room requires answers, and quickly. I suspect
Not-
the murderer to still
Not
be
so
here.
loud.
Lower your voice. don't want anyone to hear us.
Did you know Fabio well?
People are starting to look at us, Sherlock. Change the subject. I can't believe what happened to him. To me. Such an atrocity. Think what it means for me. A wonderful evening for so many good, influential, and rich people has been ruined. I have betrayed all my promises of exotic delights.
I don't understand. Surely a murder would affect your reputation to a greater extent.
Please, isn't this why you are here? I thought you were a silent magician. Do your tricks and make it go away.
I need to find all those who had the key to the altar room. As far as I know, Mr. Vogel, Fabio, and you had access to it. Is that correct?
That is correct, yes. Also, Matista and Santos.
Santos? Who is that?
Santos Pinchetti, my major domo. In his opinion, at least.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Pinchetti and Matista. Do you have somewhere I might have a private conversation with them?
Of course, of course. Let me think. Matista is entertaining the guests somewhere, and Santos... Oh, yes. He will be busy with the servants. Or the cook. What's that noise?
What the hell?
What's going on?
What? What the hell's going on?
Freeze, filth. You're under arrest.
Oh no. Oh come on, this is cruel. Sherlock, we gotta run! Sherlock? What the fuck? What the hell's going on over here? What the what? Uh-oh. God damn it! Vogel!
Committed a crime, and now I have to free you, kiss your hand, and apologize for the inconvenience. Your Grace.
I did tell you that Mr. Vogel and I were innocent. I emphasized it in my statement.
Your statement? Thanks to some bigwigs who work for the so-called good of the country by releasing fleas like you. Thank God we have Vogel in this letter. Once I get to that goldfish, I'll...
Bigwig? Ah, my wretched brother Mycroft and his long nose.
Wait, did you say Mycroft? Mycroft Holmes? Are you the youngest son of Violet Holmes, rest her soul?
You're my mother.
You knew my mother?
Not personally, no. Not exactly. I was working on the paperwork for that case.
Would you happen to remember anything of the events?
Well, I didn't make the inquiry, but I remember seeing some notes. Why?
They're all missing.
You must help me. It would mean a great deal to me if you could find any information about that day.
Huh. Got you hooked, right? You know what? Stark and the others think they're the smartest here, thanks to you. Let me get this straight. Are you listening to me, lad?
I'm all ears.
Take this case. Report to me only, to Constable Harvey Oswald. I'll leave everything I have on this table. Find the murderer. Be a real copper. Question the suspects, make them sing, give me something substantial.
And if Mr. Vogel is not a suspect?
If he's innocent, then you can take your favourite degenerate away from here. If you slip or mess with the evidence, then trust me, your brother won't save you from my bludgeon. Meanwhile, I'll be checking the archive for you. If anybody asks, then you're a consulting detective.
Understood,
Let's
Bobby.
Make a start then, partner.
Bobby.
I'm glad we managed to get the scoop before the raid.
I got out of that one. Wallowing in mud with coordinates elite. John the journalist. Okay, John, you're a good one. The murderer cleaned themselves. Faber was assaulted. Nope. None of this is connected, which makes sense. Alright. Time to get the wardrobe out. I can't change clothes here.
Look, I found Werner.
We're the Bobby now.
Werner, are you all right?
Oh, yes, yes. Everything's fine. In fact, it's something of a family reunion. My brother spent quite some time in this place himself.
Nice.
You should not be here. I told the police everything I knew, but they refused to let you go. They require proof to free
That's
you.
not how that works, right? When did it
What do you
change?
expect? The mighty Sherlock Holmes swans in, tells the officers what to think, and the world obey?
Of course not. Anyway, I struck a deal with the constable, and I've got a free hand in the investigation. I find proof to solve the case for him. He obtains files about my mother's death for me.
Well done. If one has the power or will and can act, then one must. I wonder, suppose you couldn't get the proof to your truth. Would you tell a lie to the guard that enabled my freedom, knowing my innocence? Would that not be just?
I wouldn't lie for you. No offense.
There are lines I will not cross, Werner. I will do my best to secure your release, but with proof, not deception.
Really? How many white lies have you told on this island?
Only
Why
one.
not for me? Why not another?
That is absurd. I can resolve this without compromises. Do not give up hope.
You have nothing to be worried about, really. What do I do? Everything he has on the case on the table. Alright, let's read it. Oh, this is Santos. So Santos left to tattle rat. Bogle. Trade a murder weapon. Batista. This key to room number 5.
Back on track to solve the case.
Mind Palace. Press M. Well, that's a map. Duh. Vogels held because of the ladder. Yeah, you're right. A lot of information. We gotta talk. Room number 5, here we go. 3, 5.
Good day, Mr. Manchios.
I love this.
I am Constable Oswald's partner in this investigation.
Be quick and gentle. Some of your colleagues are untrained bores. Although I don't mind meeting young officers, the new blood here.
If you cooperate in finding Fabio's murderer, there will be no need to meet with the Boers again.
That voice. Werner's friend? You're the policeman. What a disappointment.
Only an undercover agent can scour a ditch full of deviants. I am a consulting detective, although I'm capable of replacing the entire department through my consultations.
Sharp-tongued, I like it. May I presume this tongue will get us out of this trouble? I would be so indebted and glad to repay you.
Nothing's changed. I'm looking for the murderer. That's the only way to get us out of trouble.
But it shouldn't take much time, correct? We're all busy after all.
I need to examine you first.
Observe. I like how like someone's like, can you do it? Observe. But this is like actual. I'm a finna observe. Watch out. I'm imagining like a voluptuous woman. And it's like observe. Stupid. What kind of shoes are those? Expensive. Hair dye. I think it might be hiding his age. Let's see what the right answer is. Hide his age. That's the correct answer. Yes, baby. I'm intelligent. I love the validation of my intelligence, even though it's not really that big of a validation. I mean, it's a 50-50, and even then, it's not knowing like the facts help push it the right way. But it just feels good, you know. You get that nice serotonin, dopamine release.
You are a little over the top with your use of makeup, Mr. Manchios. Is it so difficult for you to acknowledge your age?
Well, Sherlock, that's easy for you to say to an old man when you look as though you are barely 15.
But still, it shouldn't be an issue for someone of your status.
For people of my age, it isn't an issue, no. But the younger ones can be so afraid of wrinkles and grey flecks. I have to adapt.
Such a methodical man who cares for his body but misses the soap under his fingernails.
Uh-oh, yeah, I'm worried about this. This might be bad. This might be bad.
Perhaps even impulsive.
Please don't be
I
bad.
wouldn't call myself that. Silly little details. If I missed it, it wasn't important. Or rather, it was less important than who or what I was
Okay,
focused
you
on.
like, you're focused on. I'm not even saying that.
What was Fabio
don't
like?
you dare.
His personality,
sus.
his habits.
This man's sus.
Anything you can tell me?
He was the brightest star of my parties. Young, magnetic, and full of energy. I don't even want to mention his beauty. Otherwise, I'll be sobbing.
An expensive champion, I imagine.
His performances were flawless. He deserved his payment. Do you think he was murdered because of money?
Possibly. What about the other guests? Were they used to opening their wallets as well?
I wouldn't restrict my guests from anything. I'm sure Fabio received a few coins from others for his services.
Mr. Vogel told me a little about your parties, but I would like to know more directly from you.
I'm all yours, Sherlock. You have me arrested and locked here with you alone.
Why did you invite Mr. Vogel as your special guest?
He's a pretty fellow. He's capable of surprising the public. He has a talent for saying words that no one else would wish to either
That's
say
true.
or hear.
I suppose I can't argue with that.
He is a free addition to the eccentricity of the party, which is fine by me. Enhances my party.
Alright, 1 second.
City of the party has a talent for saying words that no one else would wish to either
That's
say
true.
or hear.
Who did you invite?
I'd like to know who you usually invite to your parties.
Free minds who are able to leave reality for an evening, who can taste forbidden fruit without prejudice. There is nothing that quite spices up life like these parties, assuming one is old enough and has worked many years for the good of one's country.
Oh, all true laborers, I see.
Evidence time, it's evidence time!
That's not something I know much about. I've no idea about that. That's not something I know much about. I've no idea about that.
Do you have any idea who tipped off the police to raid your mansion, Mr. Manchios?
Of course. It was you. I could even say you Sherlocked me in here.
A good guess, but the wrong one. The fellow who did that was Mr. Pinchetti, your major domo.
What? Santos? But how could he even know? If he's not the murderer himself. The ungrateful swine. He has dared to besmirch my reputation.
Not a very eloquent choice of words.
What should I call him then, since he's a snitch? Make him talk, Sherlock. I'm quite certain he knows more about the murder than he has told the police.
That has to be true. He has to know something.
You'd better ask someone else. That's not something I know much about. You'd better ask someone else. That's not something I know much about. That's not something I know much about. You'd better ask someone else. You'd better ask someone else.
I will keep asking.
I've no idea about that. I've no idea about that.
You bought an expensive pair of cufflinks for Fabio. Were they his price? Or were they a tip for an exclusive show?
It was pure business. Fabio escorted me a few times. I was merely showing my gratitude.
This pair cost a small fortune. You must be extremely grateful then. Tell me more.
You've thrust a knife in an exposed nerve, Sherlock. Yes, he was my protege and my beacon also. With my experience and his beauty, we could have achieved anything. I had faith in him. I would have made him.
What the hell? I'll leave my room for 1 second. No. It's just, okay, we just exhausted all options. Okay, I thought something happened. Growing like a pencil mustache. I'm gonna lay down for a little bit, guys. I mean, I'm so tired, man. Today, I went out and had dinner with my girlfriend, and I had like I went to a buffet, and I had like 3 plates of like meat and noodles, and oh my goodness, I'm full. And then I had rangoons, and oh my god, the rangoons were so good. But then I came back home, and then I had to drive. I drove. I actually got behind the wheel. I didn't crash, so don't start. It's just, whoa, man, just a lot today. And then I get home, and guess what am I doing? I'm live streaming. Wouldn't give it up for anything. Hello.
I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald. You are Matista, Fabio's friend.
This body, yes, it's Matista. But it's a mere shell that will die someday. Just like Fabio.
My condolences.
Please accept my condolences for your friend.
Thank you.
I'm just here to ask questions and find Fabio's murderer.
It will not bring Fabio back.
Branded too. He said both she and Fabio were branded. She's ooh. Oh, self-inflicted. Okay. Oh shit. That's no bueno. Now is it? Bruise is recent. think it's disassociation. Let me see what the correct answer is. It's the punishing himself. That's the correct answer. I probably should have
Fabio and
known. I
yourself
should have
were
known.
slaves, am I correct? You have a similar branding on your body.
Yes. It was a long time ago.
Couldn't help but also notice fresh cuts upon your forearms.
The cuts helped me to forget my past, to cover the old wounds and hide them.
How did you escape?
Something happened. One night the master fell down the stairs. I made him fall, and he died. We ran away that day. We managed to get on a ship and traveled here, to Gordona. Fabio and I started a new life here. It was very hard at first, but it became better with time. Until today.
Yeah, this would kind of ruin it.
The bruises on your neck are not self-inflicted. Someone else made them.
Some guests can't contain themselves. They even bite, sometimes.
Really disgusting.
I know I can handle the news.
Mind Palace. Ooh, that's a lot. Is he with a mask back on? No, that's just him. He looks like he has a mask on, even without a mask.
Oh, what a long day.
Wait, where am I supposed to be? Oh, right, okay. Here's what I'm missing.
Eyesight similarly improved. Subject no longer requires corrective lenses.
Uncle Ben enters the room to speak to Peter about his real dad. I gotta say, I really like Martin Sheen in this role.
So, we're getting out of there. Did you see? It's funny.
I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I've nothing to say about this. You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer. You'd better ask me a question I know how to answer. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I've nothing to say about this. The Snitch? Have you seen him? I mean, my breath could knock him down. What's so special about him?
As a major domo, he has keys that open all the rooms, including the one to the crime scene. Could have testified only to circumvent suspicion, don't you think? We need to question him.
Right. I'll send our men to fetch him. Stay here.
Alright, we got him.
They brought him in, Mr. Holmes. Here's the key to Interrogation Room number 7. Mr. Pinchetti didn't even resist, our men said.
Thank you.
You can question Mr. Pinchetti in the interrogation room.
Number 7.
Mr. Pinchetti, a pleasure to meet you. I'm Sherlock Holmes. I'm helping Constable Oswald.
I've already told him everything I know. I'm only a witness, sir. Everything's in my report.
And I've read it. You forgot to mention that you hold the keys to the room where Fabio was found. I need only to find if the crime was intentional.
But I need to return to my duties.
I doubt the house will fall without you, Mr. Pinchetti. Just be still for a few seconds.
Observe. Stepped in for blood. A little suspicious, would you say? I think it's terrible miser. The correct answer is financial difficulties. I got it wrong. I'm failing. I got it right
You are
once.
the majordomo of
Lost
a rich
twice.
mansion, and you seem barely able to afford decent clothing. You hide under heavy makeup a skin disease that might be treated with more onerous but less harmful means. Do you have money trouble?
Do not have a lot of means. The pay is below what you might expect.
But you could easily change your job if your employer does not meet your elementary needs.
One can change his employer, that is true.
And the blood on your shoe, where does that come from?
I don't actually know. Perhaps from a guest?
Did you know the victim?
Did you know Fabio?
Not personally. He was a frequent guest, and cleaning the mess after his performances was tedious. Mr. Manchios always had a role for him, and mainly the leading one. The parties were always Fabio-centric.
Nice.
Tista? Was she as popular as her partner?
Don't tell her I said this, but I do not think so. Mr. Manchios hired her only because Fabio refused to work without her. Mr. Manchios used to see her as a worker. She was tasked with entertaining the guests, unlike Fabio, who could pick and choose.
See.
I recognize the key from the altar room among these.
Yes, so he does have a key. That's kind of mean. Here, I gotta leave for a second.
Thank you.
Because I missed something apparently. Nothing big, just in the archive room. Where is it? Evidence room.
Did you hear?
Good day. Your ticket, please, if you want me to help you.
Ticket.
Don't waste my time.
I'd like to check the evidence from this case.
And who are you?
Oswald sent me. I'm a consulting detective.
His partner, then? Let me see. Ah, a ritual
Ah.
murder. What a bunch of degenerates. Wait a second. I'll bring it to the table.
All the keys of the mansion on one golden ring.
I wonder who owns that one though.
It's a miracle this ruby hasn't tempted anyone.
Yeah, I wonder why not.
A heavily perfumed handkerchief with the initials KM in the corner.
I know who that is. Is that drugs?
An emergency kit for boredom.
Vogel. So this is given to Vogel.
Not the time for privacy. Werner's personal sketchbook.
We should see what he's drawn.
A handcrafted charm that contains hair and nail clippings.
Weird. Who's this?
Her key to the altar room.
Oh, Matista. The power of...
That's not for bedtime reading. This ex libris belongs to Manchios Library.
Why does she have it? pierce his heart with the golden dagger to be rid of the blood that does not love you. We're waiting for resurrection.
The book describes a ritual similar to the one performed in the altar room.
Uh-oh.
Thank you, officer.
Now, either she did that, or it's supposed to be a cover. We'll probably have to confront her about that. Alright, time to go to everybody. Ask all about the evidence.
Did you hear?
Can you satisfy my curiosity?
If the police had helped my family, I would have helped too.
Alright, well, you're not a help. You're just holding me over something someone else did. Do I look like someone that, you know, caused... Just stop. Stop.
Do you recognize this book? Could Matista have borrowed it from your library?
She didn't ask me. How ungrateful.
The things described in the book were inspiration for the rituals you performed?
Do you really believe that blood, symbols, and incantations can resurrect the dead? They are just eerie tales with a mix of occultism and voodoo. My rituals are a stage to show some of the forbidden pleasures. I've no idea about that.
I've read this letter from Fabio. It had no addressee, but it was found in Mr. Vogel's pocket.
Werner? Strange. I didn't think the two of them corresponded.
I'm sure there is some explanation. Would you care to read it?
Call me superstitious, but I don't care to read a letter from a dead man.
You're superstitious?
That's not something I know much about. That's not something I know much about.
I've read the letter about your will. A harsh method of ridiculing Santos. I doubt he will use mustache wax when he wears no mustache to begin with.
Where did you get it? Is the slug here? Tell him I shouldn't have to provide for him. He's a grown man who shouldn't sit on his uncle's neck. He conceives himself as my only heir.
And who is he to you?
He's a leech on my aging body. He has only added problems to my life since the death of his mother.
I fail to see why you made him your major domo.
He needed to know his place, so I taught him.
Huh. There you explain. Why do you have all this stuff?
This book, The Power of Love, Blood, and Mandrake, what do you hope to achieve?
To learn more about the invisible strengths that govern us. Occultism is real. The master who fell that night when Fabio and I escaped, I made him fall. I cast a spell on him and it worked.
Or was it a coincidence?
The universe is rarely so lazy.
If you say so.
She has maybe a slight point. The universe does not tend to be lazy.
I have nothing to add.
This is the letter the police found in Mr. Vogel's pocket. Fabio wrote it. Do you know anything about it?
I don't. Although I can feel Fabio's energy. It's there, but it refuses to let me analyze it.
Do you practice occult rituals?
For protection? For fortune? To wash away the ugliness of the world? Sometimes to survive. I have the gift, and I'm learning to use it better.
Did you use your gift on Fabio?
I only used white magic. Love charms lately. Fabio became so distant. I just wanted him to be with me, but I suppose I'm not as skilled as I thought.
Is that all?
I know I can handle the news.
I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my...
Right. You. We got a little more evidence for you, buddy.
Don't expect me to know anything about it.
Or a lot more. So
I know nothing about this. I can't help you. He's not only my employer, he's my uncle. And I'm his next of kin. The only one. Mr. Manchios flatly refuses to pay a family member. All I have to do is repay his so-called love. Cleaning up the filth after perverts and decadents. He's imprisoned me. The best I can hope for is a new broom. That's why I wanted to have my part of the inheritance.
Is it that bad? You have a roof above your head, a salary, and the status of a major domo.
For God's sake. I'm forced to dye and stitch my threadbare clothes, and the holes in my shoes are painful. I'm ashamed every time a guest looks at me closely.
Why do you think your uncle treats you this way?
My mother, my uncle's sister, had me illegitimately. She died, and I was given the surname of one of the maids.
But you are entitled to some of the money that belongs to your family.
He thinks not. I was not responsible for my mother's death. I work hard, and he pays me nothing. I feed on the leftovers. While he wastes our estate's property on decadent parties, he paid Fabio handsomely and showered him with expensive gifts for their disgusting relationship. Please let me out.
This? Let's talk about this.
I can't wrap my head around such a tragedy at my party.
I have an idea.
Continue our investigation.
What do I talk about? Who? Alright. Well, we got a lot of clues, so Jesus. I'm gonna just do this over and over again, actually. I don't get punished for it, so I don't really care. That's a loose end. A lot of contradicting evidence. Jeez. Now all I have is these. Okay, what do I think happened? Right now, I think the main murderer is gonna be Pinch. Like my bet is on Pinchetti. I'm still missing something.
While I look for the papers.
Maybe I have to pin it. Oh, here we go.
This letter proves nothing. Fabio wrote it to Mr. Manchios. It's time to free Mr. Vogel.
Do you really think I'm that naive? I need proof, not words from his friend.
Very well. Mr. Pinchetti told me that Mr. Manchios was lavishing Fabio with expensive and eccentric gifts. The letter mentions rich rewards and attempts to buy Fabio with them. It was written to Mr. Manchios. Who else was showering Fabio with luxuries to buy him? It doesn't fit Mr. Vogel's character.
Look here. We had a deal. Give me the murderer and then take your friend with you. I won't budge otherwise.
Well, fine, but you're just wasting time.
Oh, right, I might have to talk with Fabio or...
I have reason to believe that the intended recipient of the incriminating letter may have been Kurt Manchios.
Well, that makes sense. Too bad I can't remember how I came to possess it. Though I did spend quite some time with Mr. Manchios during the party.
Unfortunately, even with an answer, that may still not be enough to clear you with the police. But fear not, I will persevere.
I hope your attempt to put things straight will make up for...
You being on a bender?
Touché.
Yeah. Okay, rest of the evidence.
I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I can't follow you here. I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I can't follow you here. I can't follow you here. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I can't follow you here. I don't think I can tell you anything about this. I'm not supposed to know anything about this. I don't think I can tell you anything about this.
I have learned who told the police about the crime. It was Santos Pinchetti.
Do I know him?
The major domo of the manor. He cleans up after you?
Well, then he does his job perfectly. All but invisible. I couldn't tell you the first thing about him.
2 evidence is updated.
The air here is rather refreshing. I'd even recommend that some of my friends visit the place.
Please let me out.
I don't know what to say.
Could Fabio have written this letter to Kurt Manchos?
Oh. That could be. I never thought Mr. Manchos could make Fabio that angry, though.
What do you mean?
Well, Fabio wanted to disassociate from Mr. Manchos. Clients who are in love are...
Microsoft, shut up.
Here tonight.
Money. In our line of work, we can't afford to turn down clients who pay as well as Kurt Manchos.
Was Fabio afraid of Mr. Manchos?
Not at all. The old toad wouldn't dare to do more than sweet talk and touching. Talk can be forgotten, and touching washed away. I know I can handle the news. I know I can handle the...
Mind Palace.
news.
The letter. It's always the letter.
There is undeniable evidence that you were the original recipient of this letter.
What are you talking about? Is it addressed to me?
Your protege wanted a fresh start, it seems. This is sufficient to charge you.
Me? Hurt my star? Are you
I
insane
agree. I
that
don't
you
think
would
you do it.
accuse me of such a thing?
I don't think you do
He
it.
did not consider himself as yours. Since you deny everything, let's move on. Do you have any idea as to how the letter could have ended up in Mr. Vogel's pocket?
You were the detective. Perhaps he took it from Fabio. Werner was a little high.
Right, that's all the evidence I need, I think. Mind Palace. One of them is lying. Or... Okay, what do I think happened here? Let's think about this. I seriously, we know, so it has to be 3 people. Batista. I really doubt it's the old guy. He's weird and he's disgusting, honestly. But I really do doubt he's the murderer. What I think is more likely that it's the nephew. But let's see what evidence matches what. She has a book. But who would be with Fabio? Batista would. Or the old guy. I don't think... What happened again? I'm trying to play it through my mind. And he went to tell the police right afterwards. That's a, yeah, it has to be him. It doesn't really matter. Apparently there is no right answer. Excuse me. To complete the case, there is no certain correct option. Alright. What do I think? Imagine he missed the blood spatter. Just bruised them. Bruised her. But well, yeah, Pincinetti has been in that mansion. He totally could have read that book at some time. Did it as a cover. Yeah. I'm certain it's not Manchios. It's either one of these two. So who do I think? Who do I think really? Pension. Was the ritual cover? Missed the blood spatter. Who just Mitch's blood? Well. Was she okay? This is the big thing. Was she bruised by the guests? Those were some rowdy guests. But these two is what's killing me, right? I am pretty sure it was a cover. But who misses blood splatter? Oh. This makes the most sense, actually. I'm changing it. Is there no... There's no option. Wait, flip a coin. Flip a coin. If it's tails, it's her. If it's heads, it's him. Flip a coin. Either way, they're getting a death sentence. It's heads. But that is too much. I do not want to correct a murder with another murder. I do not want to. Oh. Is it really my choice? I'm the investigator, not the decider. If I want to be the decider, I'd be the judge. I'm just the investigator. Alright, what do I? Alright. I'm gonna flip a coin again. If it's tails, it's the injustice. If it's heads, it's the revenge. It's tails. Alright.
I know who killed Fabio.
So I'm free to go, sir?
Quite the opposite. I think it was you, Mr. Pinchetti.
That is not possible.
Allow me to explain.
The blood on your shoe.
The blood on your shoe tells me that you were with Fabio. You stabbed him with the dagger while he was still alive. You drew a sigil on him. There was a great deal of blood. You needed to move it. Blood is almost like glue. It sticks to everything, dries quickly, and is quite visible. But you know how to handle stains. You are Kurt Manchios's major domo. However, despite your best efforts, you missed a spot.
It doesn't make sense, sir. I was never there. I am convinced there's a reasonable explanation.
You staged this decadent ritual so you would not be suspected. After a short fight, you knocked Fabio unconscious. You locked the door and dragged the body to the altar. You wanted to set up someone acquainted with this masquerade.
I don't have the nerve to kill or stage a murder. I can't even leave my uncle's house.
You wanted to be rid of your dear uncle. I myself barely know him and already find him intolerable. You've worked for him for years. Santos, do this. Santos, do that. He doesn't pay you. He doesn't recognize your work. He doesn't see you as family. But you thought that heritage might be yours. Instead, all you'll ever receive is mustache wax. It is painful to witness such a situation. I cannot imagine how it must be for you. So you decided to frame your uncle. Put the blame for Fabio's murder on him. That way, the heritage is yours, and you are free of him.
Half of what you say is true. I'm in pain. I have had a hard time with my uncle, but I'm not a murderer. I can't even stand up to my uncle. How could I have killed Fabio? He did nothing to me.
He was a source of your troubles too, though. Especially since Mr. Manchios treated him like a king. Your uncle is a cruel man. He used everyone around him to his advantage. I don't believe he even truly loved Fabio. You knew very little love, support, or care from him. You lost your mind, Santos. And innocent people were hurt. I can't allow you to go free, but I can try to help you. I can provide my findings to the police. Decadence and perversity might poison anyone around them.
I don't know what to say. I can't breathe. I need to go outside.
Unfortunately, you can't.
I'll remember this horror forever.
I like how they all insist they're innocent. I feel like one of them should freak out. Like, how'd you know? Because, like, that's what they would do, right? That's what someone guilty would do. They'd freak out, right?
Constable, Santos Pinchetti killed Fabio. The evidence is clear.
Is that so? Huh. A man like him has actually grown a pair.
He intended to set up his uncle for the inheritance. The old man had humiliated him for years in every possible way.
Oh, what a bunch of degenerates.
Well, as for Mr. Pinchetti, the evidence tells us that he was wronged and pushed to commit a crime to be rid of his uncle. I suggest that you help in easing his sentence.
That's a sad story, all right. But at least it's good enough for my promotion. As for my part, not everything was in place. Perhaps some documents were transferred somewhere else, but I couldn't find a trace of them. Then I remembered. The discarded document drawers where we put the lost papers or the badly labelled ones. Including the crime scene report of Violet Holmes's case. Everything I've found is on
Why?
the desk here. Take it.
Your persistence has saved me.
Yeah, well, we had a deal after all. Your friend is free then. You can leave.
Good luck, Constable.
Yo. Let's go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Let's see here. Least stable on the archives. In the garden? Whoa, my mother was murdered. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh.
The garden. There's a garden behind our manor. How could I forget? That's where it all happened, where it all went wrong.
Sherry, it looks like you've almost found what you wanted.
Oh, you did it, Sherlock! The case is closed and all rewards belong to the winner. Bravo!
It is merely the triumph of the truth.
Is it? No compromises? No lies? You're happy with your decisions?
It is an acceptable outcome.
It was the best decision I could obtain. The truth must be told in the way it is most acceptable.
You're making progress, Sherlock. I was right to believe in you. By the way, did you get that precious information about your mother? Oh, not that you must.
Yes, I did.
Forgive my intrusion in such a personal matter. I simply worry I'm failing to be of much help to you.
Actually, you were. For some reason, all the archives on the case had disappeared. This was a rare opportunity to obtain the impossible.
Outrageous. Perhaps someone found the truth unpleasant. Society usually rejects those who speak with too much honesty, doesn't it?
A comfortable lie is often preferred to an uncomfortable truth. Still, I believe that the latter should prevail, and I cannot remain silent.
That's quixotism at its best. Your mere truth cannot defeat institutions, systems, and power. Etiquette, religion, marriage, they're all lies told to preserve connections, love, and sanity, and it's all corruptible.
Lies destroy human dignity. How could you make a free decision without any knowledge of the truth?
Are we really free to decide anything in this world, Sherlock?
I'm not entirely free.
I take your point. There are some limits on us all, some compromises we must make. Despite my best efforts, we cannot remain entirely objective.
I didn't want to sadden you, Sherlock, only to make you think beyond your boundaries. You're a walking contradiction, Sherlock. You refuse to lie to others, but constantly lie to yourself. How long until the train comes off the track? I cannot look away, but perhaps I should take a few steps back. You're an accident waiting to happen, dear. Until then, I shall bid you adieu.
That's kind of rude.
Basilio Coppello is in.
That is very rude. An hour and 51 minutes or an hour and 50? It's 51. Okay, one sec. This seems like a good place to end it. Alright. If you guys enjoyed watching, if you did, like, subscribe. Anyways, oh my goodness gracious. Cockies. Oh, I haven't cut my lip. Ow! I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Oh, it hurts. It hurts.